Okay, so thank you guys for jumping on. I think it's weird. I usually can see if people are muted, but I just see real quick. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys for jumping on. I really appreciate it. I know time is precious. My name is Erica Hackman and I run Team All Stars. Charmaine and I joined a week apart. Obviously, her anniversary was last week and mine is tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. Somebody's like, I hope you guys can hear me. If for whatever reason you cannot hear me, just use the chat and that way I can see questions as we go. We can answer questions as we go, and I will post this. I will give it to Charmaine so she can put it in your guys' team page. Same thing with my team. So if you guys have any questions, just let us know through using the chat. So yeah, so just celebrating my anniversary tomorrow, 3 years, right? 3 glorious years. That's like literally half of the longest relationship I've ever had. Just joking. It's kind of a fun fact, okay? But Charmaine and I like to do these things together just because number one, I think I like to know people on her team to cheer her on, and I know she likes to do the same, and it like hits, we get to do things together. So that's the beauty of this business. You can literally work with whoever you want, and that's I've never had that happen where you just pick who you want to work with, right? So thank you guys for joining. And if you are a newer rep, I know Jen was saying she's a newer rep, or if I probably jumped on new rep trainings for almost a year just because I wanted to just dot my I's, cross my T's. And I always took a nugget out of new rep trainings, even though Monica and Katie, they really kind of talk about the same thing. So at the end, we'll have time for questions and, we can answer some questions or give you some tips as you get started. But my biggest thing is I just jumped right in. I didn't really know what I was doing or like all of the things. It's kind of like life. Like when you can't figure it out, either phone a friend or use resources to figure it out. So I really highly recommend that in those first couple of weeks, you maintain a really strong relationship with your upline support or someone in your sideline, because they, your upline might not always be available. And if you are a really good leader, you set boundaries. Sometimes I don't do that. And so they might not be available. And so you might have to ask a friend or use a team chat. So I know we have a little short upline. We have a short little outline, and Charmaine's going to talk about, right? You're going to start?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Welcome, guys. Like Erica said, I'm Charmaine, and I run Team Illuminate, and we are going to kind of talk a little bit about training resources, launching your business, steps for success, tips for success in the Q&A, like Erica said. So first up, I'm just going to do real fast on training resources. I'm sure your upline has mentioned Katie and Monica are Eric and I's upline. So they run Zaya on Fire. So we all fall under Katie and Monica, and they have so many resources. So if you are not on in Zaya on Fire team page, that's a great place to kind of put and just see resources. But they have a website, and it's called onfire.com. And you literally can find all the goods, trainings, resources, mock Facebook parties to join. So I highly recommend like digging into that, whenever you first become a rep. Kind of like what Erica said, you learn as you go. You just got to jump and do it. And I remember every time I am folding laundry, going on a walk, doing dishes, like I like to just plug in. A lot of the trainings are less than 15 minutes. So you can listen to so many of those on your way to work, in the car. So make sure you just look at that website and you can see everything. The password, it's going to ask for a password, and it's just ZOF, all lowercase. So Zion Fire ZOF. So that's amazing resource. I know Erica has an incredible team workbook. My team, we have a new rep checklist. So you guys, there's so many resources available. You just got to look at them, take the next month or two and just kind of listen to all of those trainings or as much as you can. All right, launch your business. Okay, we're going to talk about that. First and foremost, freaking announce it. Let people know that you are a Zaya rep. So however you're comfortable with doing that, making a post on Facebook, hopefully, you created a VIP group. So launch your business because that's important. You want your family and friends to know that you are doing this new little adventure, whether you're just here to make an extra $200 a month, you still need to announce it and just kind of put it out there so people know that you are a rep. Hopefully you are going to do a launch party or you've already done a launch party. If you haven't yet, get with your upline. That's what we're here for. I run all my launch parties for the girls that I personally sponsor. So just ask them for help and guidance. I'm sure they will absolutely help you run it. So launch party is announcing it, and launch party is step number 2. You want to do that launch party within that first week or 2 of joining. And then the cool thing is that once you have your launch party, you convert that to a VIP group. And that is the beauty, because that VIP group is yours. That's your family and friends. You can run that VIP group and do whatever you want with it. I try to post in my VIP group at least once a day, whether I'm just sharing my outfit of the day. I have 2 little boys. I talk about that. I just it's my life. Like, I just put anything and everything in there. And I will say, try to mix it up a little bit. Don't just only post like new releases. If you only post new releases once a week, you're not going to get a ton of engagement. And that's what you want, is to really get engagement into that VIP group, because that is how they're going to be relatable to you. And they build, you want to build that trust with your customers. And you just want to share as much Zaya as you can, because people want to see you in the clothes, not just some Zaya model or some random person. They value your opinion and they want to see you in those clothes. So that's why it's super important to launch it. And then once you have that launch party, you will just convert that to your VIP group. A lot of times I just keep that same group, and then you change the title because all of your family and friends are still in there. Also too, you guys, hosting parties is super, super important. And Erica's going to talk a little bit about that, but you just, as soon as you host your own party, your launch party, you can see how it's ran. And then that is how you are able to run parties for other people. You can just simply use a lot of the same content from your launch party. So there's different parties to have. You can do a home party, you can do online party, or you can do bag parties, or you can do Zoom parties. A bag party is where you kind of just drop off maybe some Zaya that was in your starter kit to a friend. She has it for a couple days. She maybe shares it with other people, and they order that way. So definitely, you guys let your family and friends know, put it out there. The faster you can kind of put it out there, the better. And the more you can it's scary. I am not going to lie. Like, putting that kind of stuff out on social media can be super nerve-wracking, but the more you do it, the more easier and more comfortable you can get. And the more you just be real, the more you can just be real, you can be relatable, and where it doesn't sound icky or salesy, because you joined this amazing company. And just think about why did you join this amazing company? Whether it was for the clothes, whether it's for the discount, whether it was for the community, just share about that. And the more you can just share from the heart, the better it's not going to sound icky or salesy. Okay, Erica, you want to take over? Tips for success steps.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of backtrack 1 second, because I forgot in the beginning that, I think what's really important, number 1, is you guys all have a reason on why you joined Zayactiv. Okay, a lot of people, like Charmaine and I, say it's for the discount. I was a collegiate soccer coach, so I was always in gear, and even though I was sponsored by Under Armour, I was buying Lululemon a lot. And so I thought, well, this can kind of maybe save me money in the long run. If, it works, it works. If it doesn't, it was $3.95 at the time. Right. And I know that sounds like a lot for some people. That's groceries or car payment or whatever, but I figured, really, that it sounds terrible, but I spent that at Lululemon. That's awful. But I really, really loved good quality activewear. It was really important for me to have, as I was outside and a lot of different weather acclimate. So I think what's really important is that you think about your why. And what I love about Zaya is that most of our pillars. So if you guys know anything about our pillars, so we have 4 of them. And, I know Charmaine and I, we talk about uplifting people. We talk about, we're all active in some sense. I don't even care if you're going to Target, like you're active, right? Like you're walking out somewhere as a marketing board, like you are active. If you're like me, I was on a roller coaster journey with my fitness plan for a long time until I figured out what I need to do. And so I was active and then I wasn't active. So I think it's just like I always align myself with the pillars, and I align my business with the pillars, and I align like who I am sometimes with the pillars. So I would suggest, like, as you grow, and if you want to grow a team, but I would just kind of think about that. And the best thing is that we can use social media as a platform to share those things. And just like Charmaine was saying with parties, there's so many different ways to have parties. Your why also will be ever evolving, right? So my why in the beginning started like Charmaine and I just wanted a discount, and now it's to wake up and be paid. Like I legitimately don't even really have to have a party now. I do have parties and I will never stop having them, but I literally can wake up and I have like money is happening. Like I'm getting paid because I decided to grow a team. So, your why can change. Like I worked full time and then I'm part time, and now I kind of might volunteer. So I think that what's important is that you come in with an open mind about how you want to run your business. And I'm not saying that anyone needs to just like leave it alone for a while, but I have a lot of people inside of my squad that life gets kind of crazy and sticky and icky, and they put it down for a minute and then they come back. So just know that there are so many different ways for you to get started and for you to come out of the gate running. I know there's probably a couple people on this call that like the day they started, they didn't have to have any questions. They had all these parties and they came out like out of control, like doing well. So just know that that's really important part is that you follow Zaya Family, right, on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, get Instagram. Sometimes they load the videos to YouTube, but it doesn't happen as quickly. I set my notifications on on Instagram. When I go to Zaya Family, you can set your notifications to be alerted when they have posts and videos and live, because I get those sometimes quicker than I get the emails. I know getting the emails is like a disaster sometimes to some people. So just know that customer service can help like grind you through those. But I would say that that's really one of my big tips really is that you have to share your why with people, your friends and your family. And as you build that warm market, it's very important for them to be like, okay, well, wow, Charmaine joined for a discount and now look at her. So I think it's important, and I think it's interesting. And when I watch people on social media to hear their story, it is very fair that some people won't care. You know what I mean? So just know that it's your journey when you're ready, and however you want to share, whether it's a post or a picture or a live video or going in your stories or however you want to share it. We always say that there's a lot of components when you get started, and sharing and creating your why is one of them. So that would really be one of my tips, I guess. I always, I mean, Charmaine is she's probably the best person to talk about this, but always having parties open in the back office. One thing will be your best friend, and it will be the devil of you, right? Is that every Wednesday, it's like Christmas. There's new stuff. Charmaine and I literally will text each other around 11:55 and be like, oh my God, what are you getting? And so when you're trying to make money or trying to build a business, sometimes that can be difficult, right? Because we all are here because we love activewear. And so what I do is like Charmaine does too, and she can kind of tell you is I always have a link open. I try my very, very best to always close a party if I'm going to order for myself. And then probably once every quarter, especially maybe once every 2 months, I do get rid of some gently used items so I can buy new items. And I can kind of let Charmaine talk about that, but that's kind of how I fund what I get for myself, right? Because I have a rather large closet, but filling it with a lot of Zaya gear doesn't really get me very much. So I really try to close a party or have one open. I've become one of these people that is like, okay, if I want the relaxation set, I'm going to try to challenge myself. Okay, I'm going to have to sell 2 relaxation sets. Does that make sense? So I'm putting things into a party so that I can get stuff half off and free. And when I talk to people about the business, that is exactly what I tell them when I want them to join my team, is that I buy only free and half off. Now, I do sometimes buy full price, but at this point in my business, I make 33%. So I really take that into consideration. And where you're at, you could make 20 to 28%. So really think about that as far as like, oh, I want this, I want this. You know, for me, I always try to have that link open, and Charmaine does too. So she has more parties than I do and links open, but I usually try to always wait until I want to close a party to buy my gear. Of the 3 years, there's only like maybe one or two things I really, really wanted, and I just missed out, you know? So I think when you look at the big spectrum of things, people get so worked up about not getting this or not getting that, or it's sold out. And I'm like, but there's something new coming next week, you know? So try to just be a little bit more calm about that, because otherwise you'll drive yourself mad, because every week you'd be like, oh, I want that. Another tip I was going to say was personal development. Sometimes I'm like on personal development overload. I mean, I know Charmaine doesn't care to read, but I'm a big reader. I do like every now and then throwing some like other things other than personal development in there. I will say, if you like fashion items, I really like and enjoy what's her name? Sorry, I'm like drawing a blank here. I'm just reading Fearless by Rebecca Minkoff. It's pretty good. I also really, really love Atomic Habits. That's like a classic. You literally could just skim through a couple of those. Jen Sincero was at our summit, and you see her books everywhere, mainly Target, right? She has so many, and I love Badass. Like I use that more than Boss Babe. And I love those books too. I think in person, she is amazing. Like if you could watch a video of hers or listen to an Audible, that would probably be a lot better, because she is my freaking soulmate. I'm pretty sure of that. So personal development for me is when I'm feeling stuck or I'm feeling like kind of icky. That's what I go to, whether it's 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, you know what? I really relate to this other leader and another MLM. Like whenever I hear her podcast, I'm like, I just want to run through walls, because I'm like, she's right. It's so simple. It's so basic, and I'm not doing the work. So those were kind of my tips for success. I have tons of them. Obviously, I learn them myself every single day, but I will let her kind of try to talk. Charmaine, do you want to talk about like numbers and pay and benchmarks?
Yep. Okay. So yes, like Erica was saying, that's where I feel like it gets a little confusing whenever you first join. Is, a lot of people join for the discount. But if you are working this opportunity to earn a couple $100, it is super smart to order as a customer, because if you have $1,000 in sales, you're going to get 28% back. And so technically you get more back paying full price. You just get it at the end of the month when we get paid out for commission. So unless you're here simply just for the discount, obviously yes, use your discount. That's why we're here. But I've never ever use the discount, because I always know I'm going to have at least $1,000 in sales. And once you have $1,000 in sales, you make 28% commission. So your check is going to be around $280, which you can do that by hosting one party. As a new rep, I challenge you to host 2 to 4 parties every single month. Work now to get your January scheduled. So I always try to work, obviously, the month a month ahead. So right now I sent out a whole bunch of messages after I followed up with customers. That's another thing, you guys. The fortune is in the follow-up. Following up with your customers is so, so important. So once you host those parties, wait about a week or two, message them and just be like, hey, Erica, how did your Zaya fit? And then they come back and say, I love it. Right there is where you come back with, oh, I'd love to hear that. I would love to host a party for you so you can score free and half off stuff. I have this date open. Is this something you're interested in? You saw how amazing or how simple it was for your friend. I would love to do the same for you. Okay, super easy. And that is what I did today. I followed up, and it was a hot second since I did that, but I try to follow up with my customers about every 2 weeks. I'll just go to my back office under order history, look at the orders. I just jot down their name and what they got. so then I can follow up and make it really personal. Like, how did you love your light and tight and bomber bra? And then that is when I always, no matter who it is, I always ask, can you host a party? And that is how I get 99% of my parties, is from the follow-up. If you are just posting in your VIP group, I have a lot of girls that are like, I'm posting about hosting parties, but I'm like, but are you like messaging, reaching out? Hosting parties a lot of times it has to be within the messenger. So we do have to go that extra step. But that is where you're building those relationships and having those connections. So definitely post 2 to 4 parties. Fortune is in the follow-up. Make sure you're following with everybody. So then that way, if you get $1,000 in sales, you make 28% commission. Okay, so you have to have $200 in your back office. So that middle number is called your QPV. So that number has to be over 200 in order to earn commissions. And then your back office, that far right number, CPV, that's commissional personal volume. So say you had $1,000 in your QPV, but only $800 in your CPV, you are going to make 28% of that $800. I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions about that. So you're always making what that commissional volume number. Now mine always match, but if you use your discount, it's not going to match because you're not going to make commission on your discount. So that is the only time. And if you just join the same month, that is going to differ too because of your starter kit. But if you never use your discount, those two numbers should always match. Okay, so you have to have $200 in your personal volume for you to earn commission. $600, if you have $600 in your PV, you get that free website fee. So the first 2 months is free, but after that, it's just $15. But if you have $600 in sales, that's waived. I've never paid just one party. You're going to hit that between one party and a couple, if you get a couple sales in your VIP. And then that $1,000, that is a benchmark that you should always have a goal to hit, no matter what, in my opinion. And you guys on this call, I'm sure you're here because you want to build a little bit. Okay, you're not just here for the discount if you're on this call. So $1,000 should always be your benchmark. So then that way you earn that extra 8%. Okay, so again, 20%. Is what you earn, but if you have $1,000 in sales, you earn an extra 8, so that 28%, which is huge. I mean, that extra 8% is amazing. So, and then 2,500, that is just a goal that if you've been a rep for a little bit, Zaya has done numbers, all the incentives, reports is always based off of 2,500 because they have ran the numbers, they've done the research and the stats. If you consistently get $2,500 in sales, you're going to grow your business. So that is always my goal, is minimum 2,500. And then of course, if you want to build a team, adding teammates is super important to that too. I always strive to, add free reps. That's always my goal. Do I fall short? Absolutely. But that's still my goal. And I always strive for that. So 2,500 is just a great goal for incentive and growth. And then also, whenever you building a team is where that true potential income comes from. Eric and I have both been reps for over 3 years. It definitely takes time. But I told myself whenever I joined back in late 2018, I was like, I'm going to give this a year. So I gave myself the whole 2019 and I was going to reevaluate. And you guys, if you put the work, you host parties, you join people to your team, you absolutely can be successful, and just don't quit and don't give up. Are some months going to be hard? Yes. December, it's going to be a slow month. That's just how it is. But come January, February, March again, you guys, it's go time. It's so exciting. So if you are new, take this slower month to dig into some trainings, get accustomed with the company, maybe do some, research about the clothes. That, taking those slower months to really go gung-ho the first of the year. Obviously, New Year resolutions. People are going to want some new clothes because they're going to be excited to get back into the movement and to get back in the swing of things. Building a team is, I cannot stress how important that is. After you host your parties, ask your hostess. I ask every single hostess to use their party credits for the starter kit. The worst they can tell me is no. Guess what? We just close their party like normal. But if I don't ask, I don't know. So I always just feel like, hey, girlfriend, you got this. You can use this for the starter kit. Then you get the discount for life. And then you have an opportunity to earn an extra income if you would like. Keep it simple. But again, share how incredible this opportunity and gift is to other people. I think that's about it. Erica, do you have anything to add? What did I miss?
I will
You already
say,
talked about having a party link open. Absolutely.
I will say, if you are new or newer, I would definitely review the pay plan info in the company files in the back office. There's tons of stuff in the company files. I did have a rep most recently in my downline. She's like 4 or 5 removed, but she just hit junior rep, and you don't get paid a bonus. You don't get paid a rank bonus on that unless you hit it within the first 3 months. So definitely make sure you review it, even if you're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna, grow, or I care about $50. Like, at least you will know. And especially if you do ever get reps under you, you will know some of those things. And if you do have a downline and you don't have $200, like, you don't get paid, then you don't get paid on them, if that makes sense. Say you do $200, but your rep only does like, $200. You don't get paid on them that unless you hit junior rep, if that makes sense. So you want to be able, once you get one person, or even before that, to be prepared, please review the pay plan information and how you get to where you want to go. Because you could say, oh, I don't want to do this. And then when your hostess says, I'd like to do this, and then you're like, oh, well, okay, great. This is going to be free money for me. And now I don't know anything about the pay plan info. So sometimes I have it printed out at my other desk, just because, I like to look where people are going in my downline as far as like hitting ranks and cheer them on. And sometimes I forget what the benchmarks are. So I would definitely review that with your sponsor, or I think there's even a small little video. It's not very detailed, but there is some out there. Real quick, the resources, if your upline sponsor hasn't added you to them. I know Charmaine talked about the website. That's really, really great. Zaya Family is really important. Zayactiv, I follow them on everything. And I would definitely, the marketing, I use that a lot. The marketing on Facebook, if you can get added to that. There's even like a group that's like Party Post, if you really just want to copy and paste a party post. I don't have a party template. I'm kind of just like whatever's here and there, that's what I post. So if you're an organized person and want a party template, there's a lot of groups on there. Please ask your upline, but sometimes it can get really overwhelming because you're in team chats and team pages and this team and that team and all of the business. So, if you want to just keep it simple, one that I highly suggest is the marketing group, because you can literally search 3060 and they'll pull up 3060, and you can send your customer pictures of people who aren't your size. So it's really important. That's really important. Charmaine, I think, uses WordSwag. We use Canva. Those things, if you get crazy and want to make your own graphics, I would say that's probably on the lower end of priorities at this point. But if you are really creative and crafty, people love seeing you in the gear. And obviously they can go to the website to see our models, you know what I mean? Now the men's models that we can send them pictures of them. Some of them be looking pretty damn good. I'm like, dang. So those are really just my takeaways, I would say. If anything, does anyone on the call have any questions?
Yeah, now's the time. Ask us anything. We can leave it up for Q&A if anybody has questions.
Unmute and or type.
Okay.
Either or.
Yeah, unmute.
All right. Charmaine, you have anything?
Mm-mm. No, we'll give it one more second and people want to use the chat. No, I think the biggest thing is all the time, life's a dance, you learn as you go. You just gotta jump in and do
Name
it.
that tune.
Perfection. I know, John Michael Montgomery,
Oh shit.
right? Is that who sings it?
Oh no. The Pimple Garage.
Life's a dance.
I'm loving me some John Montgomery. You see my reels? Oh, Jackie says it is. Life's a dance, you learn as you grow.
Okay,
Sometimes you lead, sometimes
Jackie
you
knows.
follow.
That's James.
What is it?
Hey, that
I can hear
Jackie
you.
Bonoff is Jamie's sister, Jamie Harmon. Oh, what do you mean you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
You're cutting it out. Yeah, I can hear you. I think.
Jackie is Jamie Harmon's.
Oh, I love me some Jamie Harmon. All right. Well,
Okay, guys.
we will
Any other questions?
post this, right? Champagne. Oh, how do I get the
Right.
discount? You want to take that?
Yeah, so you just simply go to your back office and click.
You're cutting it out.
Order. So your back office on the left-hand side, all those things, place an order, and then you will just, all right, you take it. Can you hear me now?
You're frozen.
Okay, you're gonna have to go.
Okay. Casey, okay, if you
How
want,
about you go?
Casey, if you want, this is how
You go.
this is how I try to explain. I think there's even a graphic for this. Okay, if you're going to buy one thing, two things, and you're not going to host any parties, using your discount is probably okay, right? You're going to go in the back office, you're going to go down to place order, and then you're going to go to I think it's personal order. And then you'll just order your items and the 25% off automatically comes off, Casey. Now, if you're going to buy like $200 worth of stuff, it's going to be better if you put it in a party, because then you're going to get free and half off gear when you close the party. Does that make sense? Casey? I don't know what's going on, but Charmaine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Casey, does that make sense? So I don't know if you're looking like you just want to only use the discount forever and ever, but I suggest if you aren't going to, like if you're not going to sell or you don't want to host parties, then using your discount in the back office is probably great. But the way I always think about it is I would rather get 20% cash back and eventually build towards rewards that are free and half off, or maybe even 28% back, then save 25%. Because really the difference between 25 and 28% back, I mean, it's like dollars, it's like $1, $2. So it depends on, I think, I always say how much, but I think what's really important is that you know how to use, like how to get there, and it's in the back office. And if you still can't find it, you can ask your upline, or you can message Charmaine and I can kind of walk you through it. Charmaine, can I hear you? Go ahead, talk.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, much better.
I'll talk to Jackie about Jackie's question. Okay, Jackie, VIP group, vamping it up, especially when you first got started. I did this at least once a month. I did like grow your group. So I would run these, be like, hey, if you add 5 people to this group, you're entered in to win this. You can give away a gift card, you can give away whatever you want. So I highly recommend doing that pretty often. And then make sure whenever you are running your parties that you are inviting everybody from your party to your VIP group. And then something that I do weekly, I still do this after 3 years of being a rep. I just go to the invite button and freaking invite people. I've invited the same person probably 50 times, but you know how notifications are in Facebook. People don't see them, or they like get busy or whatever. So make sure you are constantly adding people to your VIP group, going live. That's super important. That helps with the logarithm. Also, too, I kind of said this earlier, make sure, for me, I think it's really important to not just talk about Zaya, because let's be real, that can get a little mundane and lose people's interest. So I like to throw in a Q&A, like tonight. I just threw in, I'm hosting Christmas this weekend. So I'm like, send me your favorite dip recipe, talk about recipes, do water challenges, do 5-day challenges, ask, do you like a beach vacation, mountain vacation? Like, you have to throw in some engagement posts. So people, that just breaks the Facebook logarithm. Facebook is annoying, and the logarithm is what we have to beat sometimes. So definitely put life in there and not just only post about Zaya, but make sure you do post. I mean, I post every day. I try to post my VIP group every single day, just to stay consistent. Consistency is so key in this business, you guys, because if you're only posting on Wednesdays, guess what? People are not going to come back, and people's going to buy from another person. That's just the blunt truth. So definitely stay consistent and let people know you're in it. I'm still a Zaya rep. I'm here. I love this stuff. And the more you can talk about it, the better, which leads me to the next part of your question, is adding teammates. Again, the more you can talk about this business opportunity, the better, the easier, the more comfortable you get. Talk about it in your VIP groups at least once a week. And I'm not just saying, hey, join my team. No, you have to give reasons why you love this business, what it's doing for you, how you're building confidence. My paycheck, I was able to do this, just talk things like that. Don't put the paycheck on your main Facebook because you might get in trouble. You're not really allowed to say Zaya paid me this. They're kind of big on that, but you can in your private VIP groups. I think you're fine. Also, yeah.
Policy and procedures, probably need to look at that.
Yeah, I got in trouble last week. What was I saying? Oh, make sure also to, Jackie, you are doing so good with your Facebook stories. Make sure you talk about the rep opportunity in your stories at least once a week. That is another way. And the easy way to do that is talk about the discount. Share whenever you cash a party for your awards. Get on a Instagram or Facebook parties or stories and say, look at this. I just closed my own party. Did you know, as a rep, I earned commission on all these sales. Plus I'm able to cash out a reward and I get all my clothes for free and half off every single week. Talk about, that's freaking amazing. So that's how I talk about every Wednesday on new release day. I usually share that because I close a party every single Wednesday so I can get the new releases free and half off. But definitely the more you talk about it, the more you get comfortable with it. Make sure you're talking about the rep opportunity inside your parties. That is a huge one. Make a post about it. And then every time you go live, so whenever I go live to share my outfits of the days, again, in there, I say, you guys, if you live in activewear, seriously, joining for the discount is so worth it. It's easy. It's simple. There's none of auto ships or anything like that. I talk about the wrap opportunity, maybe 15 to 30 seconds, but I put it in there. So you never know who it can resonate with. So the more you just talk about it and get comfortable and you do that consistently, people are going to watch. It took me 8 months. I watched Katie Harlan for 8 freaking months, sharing her outfit of the days before I finally messaged her and was like, all right, what the crap is this? So definitely consistency is key.
8 months.
8 months.
Dun, dun.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
Thank you so much for your advice.
And girlfriend, you're rocking it. Jackie's doing so good. She just went on stories and she shares her outfit of the days every day. And girlfriend, the more you do that and do that every day, you will grow.
Check A.
Yeah.
I can hear you so much clearer now.
Oh, I got off my Wi-Fi.
Oh.
So luckily service is not bad.
All right, you guys are the best.
Any other questions?
I'm gonna go put an order in.
What are you ordering?
I don't know, stuff for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you better put that order in. Okay, anything else, ladies?
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right.